So we're live. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. It's me and Kwame for the night. Tansy is somewhere where she doesn't have too much great internet. And Mocha, she said she couldn't join us tonight, so it's me and Kwame.
Yeah,
Me and Kwame. Um, again, welcome. Um, again, welcome. And I'm at a loss for you words, y'all. I'm tired. I work today. I've been driving around. Um, what we wanted to talk about tonight was um documents, passports, and other important papers that you need or get regarding like birth certificates, death certificates, getting passport renewed or issued, those type of things. We It's much easier to do it in Jamaica than it is to do it from the country that you're living in.
yeah,
Um, it also it's also it cuts down on the waiting. So sometimes you might not get your documents back for what at least
yeah,
3, 4, 5, 6 months.
yeah,
Sometimes I even heard somebody it took them a year to get a birth certificate.
yeah, yeah. Like some of the queries that we had was was that they had applied from outside the states for, I think it was a fast track, 7 years, 7 year fast track.
Mm-hmm.
But they never get nothing back for 6 months. And I said, that's what's gonna happen. I said, yeah, you have to be in Jamaica to get it done quickly. You know what I mean? There's no two ways about it.
No.
To be outside of Jamaica to get it done, it don't make no sense because yeah, it's just long. Unless somebody has that planned in regards to they don't have there's no urgency, then
Mm-hmm.
fine. But it's a long thing. That makes
No.
sense. To me,
No.
it makes sense. Just come to
No.
Jamaica and get it done.
And I also think the fact that Jamaica has this 2030 initiative where everything is up to date. So they're constantly upgrading and
Yeah,
restructuring their system. So it's just, I notice up there in the States, sometimes from dealing with the US, they just scan a document and it's auto populated.
hmm.
um and it's correct, but in Jamaica you actually give a document and it's a human doing it, so
Hmm.
sometimes it's errors because I mean these people work 8 hours a day.
That's right. So one of
um
the calls, one of the calls what we had, person had an old birth certificate from New York apparently.
mhm.
Took it to Pika, no RGD, and I was told that it was out to Pika. I was told that the birth certificate was too old, so they had to go back to New York to try and sort it out from New York. But apparently, there's some complication where that is concerned. But it goes to show that yeah, it's how the bureaucratic the whole entire process can become, and it can be a long time. And like I said, it's just a missing of a name or something like that can make it even longer.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know.
I know someone. He was born in Haiti. His parents are Jamaican. He actually lived in Jamaica. Was issued, hello boss lady,
Hey, boss
was
lady.
was issued Jamaican, was issued a Jamaican passport, renewed it, went to go live in the States, and now he wants to renew his passport, but then he can't because they said his birth certificate is just it's a copy of it and they want the
Mm,
original.
that's right,
So,
exactly.
so
Yeah.
he had to pull all these strings to get his birth certificate from Haiti and
Wow.
translate it into English. And you know the issue over there is
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So he had to pull all those strings in order to do what he needed to do.
yeah. It can be. Yeah, and as we know, the elders from years ago, because a lot of them couldn't read or write. So when
Uh-huh.
whoever was writing up the birth certificates and so on and so forth, and misspelled a name, you put the
Mhm.
pet name, the amount of problems I've been hearing of people who have problems with the birth certificate because of that. Because
Mhm.
today they want to do something and they can't because it's different from one document to the next.
Mhm.
It, mm, it's
Yeah,
and how frustrating it can be.
I actually know somebody like that. His name is John.
Mm,
But on his and he John all through school, baptism records, John, doctor's records,
yeah,
John.
yeah,
He was even in JDF, his name was John.
yeah.
He went and his birth certificate says Fred.
That's what I mean.
I
All
don't
this life
know
is
who
being
Fred,
done.
I don't know who Fred is. And that's what he said. I don't know who Fred is. I'm John.
So what did he do? What happened?
He just goes by he still goes by John, but he's Fred.
Okay. Wow.
It's
Yeah.
nothing
So,
he can do about it. So he just legally he's Fred, but he
right.
say he's John.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It is an issue, and I always say to people, try and sort it. Cause like, there's somebody I know at the moment who's trying to get and she's Jamaican heritage, and
Mm-hmm.
she's trying to get a Jamaican passport, and because her mother's name was different from the marriage certificate or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
One, she can't get up there. She can't get a passport. She can't get a citizenship because even she went back to what happened. She went back to RGD, and they're saying that they need and it's just one going around and going around and going around. It's like to get fed up in the end because she wanted it, and but and she's not the only one because I know so many cases like that where there was
Mm-hmm.
just a name missing or a spell missing, a spelled name incorrectly, and in
Mm-hmm.
the end, yeah, it's a headache for a lot of people. So that sometimes people go for get legal, try to go get the lawyer route, and that costs money,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So even for me, so on my birth certificate from the US, it has my first name and my birth last name.
Right.
It does not have my middle name. But as I grew up, my school records have my middle name. Then as I got older, my driver's license from the US had my middle name. My social
Yeah.
security card from the US has my middle name. All of that stuff, right? Even including my what do you call this? The credit score stuff.
Yeah.
Credit bureau has
Yeah.
my middle name. So when I got married in Jamaica in 2004, my middle name was included on my marriage certificate.
Right.
I got divorced in 2021.
Yeah.
My divorce decree has my middle name on it. I went to get married again in 2021. They said that my middle name cannot appear on my marriage certificate because it's not on my birth certificate and everything has to match. I
See what I
said,
mean?
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Then it went off. So then when it came back, they misspelled my husband's name. So we had to send it back because we just needed to be correct. So now what I have to do is because on my children's birth certificates, the one that was born in Jamaica and the one that was born in the US, my middle name is on there.
Yeah.
So now I have to send my birth certificate and my USID
Yeah.
to get amended back to the birth certificate place in California for it to get amended so everything can match in Jamaica.
Wow. Yeah. See what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Because down the line, I
Yeah.
don't want it to be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. They have to be stringent. Well, but I guess I mean, and I guess they have to be stringent and make sure that people who say they're who they are. But
Hmm.
sometimes it can be ludicrous. I think I
Hmm.
believe. I think you can get it verified by a GP or a lawyer, and you're good. But
Hmm.
they're very very stringent and strict when it comes to
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Mm,
They don't mess around. But I mean, it's so much easier when you're here in Jamaica because
yeah,
the people you get it, and sometimes they have you look at the screen or make you verify, say, okay, this is right, and then once it comes back, if it's wrong, it can be immediately fixed versus getting waiting all that time, then you finally get it and then it's wrong.
yeah,
then you have to wait and go back through the process. And
Yeah.
then sometimes it might be documents, just some simple, an extra document that you need, and it's easier if you're here. You can just, you
Yeah.
know, you can go drop it off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And it, all right, may take a day or two, but at least you get it done. You know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm, you know.
Instead of a whole bunch of calling, waiting for
Yeah.
somebody to process this
Yeah.
and process that. No, mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
much easier.
Yes, it
I
is.
also, I also find, so I know a lot of people. I see it all the time, and just recently, it was this going around in all the Jamaican groups talking about how difficult
Yeah.
it is to open up the bank account, and this, and that, and this, and it's easier when you do it as a local versus
Yeah.
with your foreign ID and
Yeah.
your foreign income
Yeah.
requirements. Because
Exactly.
once you have that foreign stuff, it takes longer,
Yeah.
and they have to do more checks.
And plus it depends on where and which bank now, because personally
Hmm.
speaking, I had bank accounts at Jamaica National Commercial
Hmm.
Bank, Victoria Mutual, and JMB.
Hmm.
And aside from I don't have anything with JN anymore or NCB because I just found them
Hmm.
service to be atrocious. But
Hmm.
Victoria Mutual was very easy to do. You know, I mean, very simple to very process, and JMB was even simpler. So
Hmm.
when I hear people talking about, oh, you know, how long it's taking for to get a bank, you know, why them have to ask all these details, and you know, and you say to yourself, yeah, but I know that for on money laundering part, legislation because it's imposed that
Oh yeah.
they had to have things in place. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So
Oh
so
yeah.
I try to understand that it's one of the reasons is because of money, but there are banks or business societies that you can open very simple, very easy, you know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
but it's just that's one of those things in terms of being in Jamaica. But you're right. There's
Hmm.
some banks that are very awkward and want a lot of information,
Hmm.
and would ask you for you know everything: hand, house, land, home, dog, puss.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
there are
Exactly.
others that don't.
Mm. Good
You know,
night, Simone.
you like someone.
Simone said good night.
Yeah.
It who did I think I dealt with my first bank was NCB, and I remember this had to be maybe about 90, about 99. And all they wanted was I had to get something filled out by the JP, the application sent by the
Yeah.
JP. And then I took it
Yeah.
and I went with my sister, and she brought me back, and she was my reference, and that was it. And I opened up that account.
And it changed.
Yeah, oh yeah, it used to be so easy.
And then it
Hmm.
changed. And then it changed. And asked if I was on land. Yeah.
Yeah. Then after that, I ended up getting a Scotia account, and it was a little bit easy for me because I think the guy liked me. So he just kind of pushed it through, and I was like, "Okay, sir." Hmm.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. But like I said, from my in terms of my experience, I think JMB is one of the simplest. And
Hmm.
Victoria Mitchell is also very simple to own,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
But again, somebody people must have the documentation in place. You know what I mean?
Right,
References, and
right,
proof of address. You know,
right.
and JMB, those are the main things. And obviously TRN. You
Hmm.
know. Mm.
Hmm. And also, like I keep saying, because is people they compare and say, well, you could do it online abroad. I'm like, but they have a system in place to do checks. They don't have that
Exactly.
system here in Jamaica to do
No.
checks.
No.
And then again, with the money laundering issue, they have to double verify who you are
That's right.
and double verify who you say, I mean, where the income is coming from.
Correct.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
actually know somebody who account was closed because they were making too many deposits,
Okay.
and it was actually more than usual, than normal.
Right.
So they put a freeze on their account, and then they had to explain where
And
that
justify.
extra money
Yeah.
was coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
hmm So they actually do checks and stuff like they do have do
Due diligence.
yeah,
Due diligence.
yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but like I said, it is. Cause and I do hear that complaint a lot, you just have to go with it. You know what I mean? You know,
Mm-hmm.
not gonna
Mm-hmm.
change anything. Not gonna change anytime soon.
Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. I recently went to get my daughter one, but it was we decided to wait
Right.
because she's working, but she's
Right.
17. But
Right.
technically,
Yeah.
by law, you can't work until you're 18.
Yeah. That's true.
So, because it's a law that you can't work until you're 18, they can open up her account for employment because she's 17.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah. Go.
so we're just
Well, if you're gonna go with JMB,
hmm
go with JMB.
so we're just gonna wait until she turns 18. She turns 18 in what, September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that she'll be fine.
Yeah. 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 Cool.
hmm
But yeah.
Also,
Um.
she also need her U.S. passport, but I decided to wait until she's 18 so she can go there by herself because I don't
Yes.
want to go. hmm hmm
Yeah.
So, well, I get it. I get it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well,
Mhm.
hot. Man, hot.
You're hot.
What? Kingston hot. Kingston hot.
I was by the river
Yeah, man.
today.
Kingston. Huh?
I went down to the river today. I went bamboo rafting.
Oh, you did?
In up in up by Hanover at the Lethe River. So.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. I need to do that myself, man. Cause Kingston hot, man.
Mm-mm.
Top foot, I tell you.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Are you going to to the farmers market tonight?
No, it's not farmers market. Kingston night market. Yeah.
Oh, Kingston Night Market. You going to
No,
Kingston Night Market tonight?
I don't think so. I had a friend of mine who was here from the UK, and
Okay.
I asked him if he wanted to go, but if not,
Mm-hmm.
go back to me.
Okay.
Mm.
Hmm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It's,
I'm not gonna do too much myself. Just
mm.
I'm gonna just stay in. I'm
Did you know
tired.
did you carry anyone for Sumfest?
Wait, what you say?
Did you carry anyone for Sumfest? Did you?
Me? Me? Me?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't work some fest.
Okay, okay,
I refuse to.
okay,
It's certain. I'm picky and choosy in my old age. I can't. It's not worth my time because the
okay,
traffic and the amount of time. I don't. I can't do it.
okay.
I don't work Sunfest, and then
Right,
I don't work the week before Christmas.
right.
hmm
Okay.
And I don't work during weekend.
Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Not in the grill, but I'll work in Montego Bay. But anything going towards the grill, no, no, no. hmm Yep. No, no, not me. No, 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 no. Um, but it was boy Montego. Whoo, it was you. So last year,
Yeah,
the first year that they were back since COVID.
yeah.
So it was okay. This year, for some reason, it was so much traffic
Right,
everywhere and so many people.
right.
The first from it, they said it started on Sunday, Monday. From those times, it was so many people everywhere and traffic everywhere. That's
See.
how many people were in Montego Bay.
Okay.
hmm Yeah,
Okay.
it was definitely lively, definitely lively.
Okay. So someone take a bit make a good money.
Oh yeah, Montego Bay made good money for Sunfest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's time the grill's gonna be this week in because
Why
they're
it's what dream
dream week,
what's happening on there?
dream
Dream weekend.
yes.
Mm. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
imagine. Yeah.
Oh, little tiny Nick grill.
I know. I know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's not enough
I
rooms.
no, I think I have somebody going there, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around Southway and
Right.
drop them off.
Right.
So I can just because I need to avoid Beach Road because they're staying on the west end, so I'm gonna avoid Beach Road. So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
around the Southway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because when it comes to these events, there's especially on the side, there's not enough rooms.
No,
People, there's
no,
not enough rooms.
no.
Lots of people. Lots of people. When they
Mhm.
were talking about this. Mm.
I remember.
And so I think, uh,
I remember when Buju had his first concert there. People were staying in Ochi because they Kingston. It was nowhere in Kingston for them to be.
yeah. As a matter of fact, it's going to happen again on not this year. It's happening in 2025. Yeah,
Okay,
as you said that you want to give people enough time to plan for it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
2025. But it's going to be again. It's going to be the issue because people flying to it, don't it? This is and about they keep saying that there's and it's true because even when there's an event, a big event in Jamaica,
Mhm.
there's just not enough rooms. Can you imagine?
No, no, no. It's never. It's even with the Airbnbs and all the guest
Yeah,
houses, still not enough.
it's still not enough. Still not
No,
enough. Can you
no,
imagine?
no. Because I know people that's going to Dream Weekend, but they're staying in Montego Bay because they can't get a room in Negril.
See what I mean? There's not enough
Mhm.
rooms. And
Yeah.
even though there's a whole hotel,
Yes.
you know what I mean? There's a whole hotel in Jamaica. There's still not enough
Yeah.
rooms.
No. It's not. Not. No. Never.
It's no, never. It's amazing. It's really amazing. You know?
And it's
Really
like
amazing.
even the more we the more we grow, the more tourists that come in,
Yeah.
we can't keep up with the demand fast enough.
Yeah. That's true, Simone. There wasn't enough rooms in Kingston for the carnival.
No.
Not enough rooms. The amount of people who come to traverse and come to visit Jamaica to party when there's
Yeah.
events. There's not enough rooms. Just not
Yeah.
enough rooms. And I think that no matter how much rooms I'm going to build, because I'm still building hotels, it's not going to be enough. It's still not going to be enough. you know?
The, the amount of people it's interesting how the amount of people that have come to Jamaica for an
Events.
event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like Calabash. Calabash had over 1,000 people, probably 2005. You know what I mean? And I tell you, and even down at Treasure Beach, that's a couldn't hold
Yeah,
everybody.
that's why I was thinking that little bitty area.
Yeah. They couldn't hold it to Treasure Beach, and we booked a villa about half an hour out,
Uh-huh.
which is pretty cool because I didn't mind the drive back and forth, and you know what I mean. But there wasn't traffic actually. That was funny enough, but
Okay.
but yeah, I didn't mind the drive. But again, and the funny thing is that down by Treasure Beach, outside of Treasure Beach, there are a lot of empty houses. You know, what I mean, 'cause a lot of Airbnbs on that side. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, but there weren't enough rooms for
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
For literary event.
Right. Right. Right.
Not even a party, a literary event. You know,
No. Also,
It's in
listen.
April, Lynn, in
Yeah.
April. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's really fascinating that when you sit down and think about it, that you can have these things taking place
Mm-hmm.
and there's not enough rooms. I wouldn't say it's a party island. That's just that Jamaica. Well, Jamaica's known to party, but I wouldn't say we're a party island. You know, what I mean, we do love Jamaica's a nightlife, fun loving. You know, what I mean, but in that regard, but
Mhm.
are we a party island? I guess we are.
I
So
mean,
how is that going? Yeah.
we always setting trends, party trends. I think Jamaica. I think it's
Yeah.
the. I think it's more music,
Yeah. Yeah.
the culture
Exactly.
of partying than it is partying.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
How we party
That's
is
true.
what people love.
No,
It's
yeah, and the different types of parties. So you can go out,
yes,
you can have, as you say, have a dream weekend coming up. You
right.
the other day was Sunday gone was here Selassie Dub Club. So the
Okay.
type of party, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That one can gravitate towards. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. It's a culture of partying rather than being a
yeah,
party island.
yes. And
Mm.
then just July 23rd was Haile Selassie birthday, and so down in Montego Bay, the Rasta they had the whole parking lot,
Yeah, exactly.
red, gold, and green off, and they was in there partying
Yeah,
and celebrating Selassie's birthday. So
yeah,
it's then we have all the jerk fest and the curry
exactly.
fest and the and the seafood fest and the crab fest and the
Yeah,
lobster fest and
yeah,
so I think it's just a lot of that.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. Cause we always have something going on.
hmm I think it's the exposure on social media because
Yes,
before we didn't have the TikTok and we didn't have
yes,
the it was just if you knew you knew. So now I think it's the exposure of TikTok and this and that and this
yeah,
the different ways the information is relayed.
yes. And people are seeing other people having a good time.
Yes.
So that translate.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah. Because I remember before when I used to come to Sunfest before way back when it was nice.
Mm.
It was very nice, but people who knew they knew, so then they would come.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And then word spread, right? So you will have a good time. You tell somebody else, and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. So
Mhm.
because, like you said, because I know that down by Negril Treehouse, where Gail has the Negril Treehouse, they have a lot of groups. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She had recently had a group of single women or women who came down as a group of the 30 of them, you know what I mean? So you
Yes.
have a lot, yeah, just have a good time, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm,
I mean, it's a perfect place to, especially when to party outside.
mm,
Mhm.
for sure,
Mhm.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
Mhm. I mean,
Yeah.
and then it's funny because everything could turn into a party. So, mhm. So yeah, so I mean, and then also too, Simone, those particular promoters they spend a lot of money making sure that they reach people outside of Jamaica to
Yes,
come, and people have the money to come, so they come.
yes, yes,
They want to experience that. They want to
yes,
experience something, something authentic.
yes. Yeah, true,
Mhm. Mhm.
true, true, true. Yeah, that's true.
And then what I noticed is the promoters they put, like for instance, this dance hall queen contest is coming up.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And you know,
yeah,
so what the Japanese that come to that.
right. So they say international dance hall
Yeah,
queen, so
yeah, 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 yeah,
to a wider audience.
yes,
Um, back in the day, it was just the dance hall queen. It wasn't no international nobody.
true.
It was just the dance
Yeah,
hall
true,
queen,
true.
and
Yeah,
it was mostly the dancers from across Jamaica. Whoever was the hottest dancers was up on that stage.
that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
doing whatever they needed to do.
That's
I
right.
actually know one of the dancers that that she won the Midwest. So see, there go the culture again. She won the Midwest Dance Hall Queen, and so
Mm,
she's participating in the international one.
mm, mm, mm,
She came in today.
mm.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm And then also it was the African sound system that won. I think he's from Sudan.
Yeah, what name?
Mi-
Oh, yeah.
um,
Yeah, I know.
Mystic.
Yeah, because I saw him at Rebel Salute. Very good
Yeah,
time. Mm,
Yes, he won the
That's right.
club title.
He's always
Mm-hmm.
here. He's always here. I love
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, man. Yeah, I love Jamaica. But yeah, man. So there's always something going on. Um, some people, and like I said, it's just so. And the other thing, which is great, since obviously since COVID yeah, that's right. They did have that support from Japan. Since,
Mm-hmm.
since since coming back from, and I guess a lot of people, what I mean, since COVID, and people just want to come out and enjoy themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. I
yeah.
mean, mm, Jamaica is nice. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For real, for real. But but yeah, man. So, does anyone have any questions of us?
Since we're on any type of questions, we're just random talking.
Yep. We touched on passport and documentation earlier in regards to and banks and banking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, and now we're obviously touching on entertainment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, touching on entertainment and the other thing about that economy, because I think as much as Jamaica has a formal economy, I think that the creative industry economy is much more vibrant, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot more people are employed by it. You know,
Yeah.
mm,
Yes. Yes.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that sometimes it doesn't get the importance that it needs, or the attention that it needs.
No.
Mm. I think that's sad, really, because I really do think that what I'm calling the orange economy is what drives Jamaica more than anything
Mm-hmm.
else. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's interesting when I take people, like I take people all over. So I would take somebody to the club. I'm like, okay. So, they're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is nice. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to take you to a dance. And so they're usually standing there like with like this. I'm like, yeah, dance is different. A dance is nicer than the club. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's but then, and then obviously the different flavor for anybody who really wants to experience that, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
different things that people can do. So much to do, so much to see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, and it's I think it's just a lot.
It's not, they say no, man will not even come up in the conversation. Man will not even come up in the conversation, Kinaldo.
Right,
See
right.
that?
Where you be going, King now though to what you call it, to skate land?
you know,
Mm, mm-mm.
you know, man was a sleepy old man. Things going on, man was still, I'm sure, but not
Yeah.
on the scale of Negril or Romantic or be a Ochi, You
Oh
know what I mean?
no.
I'm Treasure Beast.
Especially since look at
you
since he moved from the Randy Williams Entertainment Center. Remember where he started?
Yeah.
Um, what I can't even think of his name. You said it earlier.
Uh,
Uh,
now, like I said, I'm not gonna say I don't. Obviously, I passed through Mandeville. I'm not in Mandeville, but I'm certain things happen in Mandeville on a local level.
mm-hmm,
But in terms of a big event where you have
mm-hmm,
hundreds of people and thousands of people that come,
mm-hmm.
Mandeville doesn't spring to Mandeville doesn't spring to mind.
No, no. So,
Yeah. We get Kingston. Funny enough, clubbing has changed in Kingston because there aren't any nightclubs anymore.
mm-mm,
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, I was speaking to someone who had a nightclub, and they said it was too expensive to maintain. So what you do have now, you have um, like a restaurant or a grill. You know what I mean? So for example, you have East Japanese, which is a Japanese restaurant. That
Mhm.
every Friday they have something called Beer Mug Friday, and that's
Mhm.
after work jam session. Really nice, really
Okay.
strictly retro. And
Okay.
then you have Jangas. Um, you have Jangas on a Sunday night, and it's called Soulful Sunday. And again, Jangas a place where you eat. So what has happened is that it's transformed into places where people eat into quote unquote clubs. And you have another one called On Top in Barbican
Okay.
on a Thursday, and 22 Jerk is another
Mhm.
place. So there are places where people eat, but there's no nightclubs anymore. No, that's not true. There's one, but it's probably closed down because I haven't heard about it now. Waterfalls, but I haven't heard anything about waterfalls for a while. But so people are now going to those kind of places where you eat, and then later on it turns into a music kind of thing. You know? Yeah, nightclubs don't exist anymore in Kingston. One time, you just have Asylum, Epiphany, you know, you know, and
I used to,
Cactus and what more. You know, what I mean, you have so many. You know, so many, but not anymore. Rock,
I used to leave Mobay and come down.
turntable. Uh,
I used to leave Mobay to come down to go to Asylum. I used to go to Asylum nightclub. Boy, it was nice in there.
yeah, but that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yes, more marketplace, also marketplace. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah, marketplace. Yeah, so and again, marketplace is the way a place you go eat, and then
mm-hmm.
it turns into a club per se. So that's what a lot of people have. A lot of places have become. You
You
know,
know, that's how the places are here in Montego Bay.
right?
Because they have Margaritaville, so it turns into the club at night.
Exactly.
Lounge 2727, they serve food. It's a regular bar, and then they have, of course, the ganja, and then at night it's a club. And then the same thing with this new place called Elevate. They serve
Yeah,
food, and
yeah,
it's the club.
yeah.
Um, what else? Oh, the brewery, which is now the Jerk Zone or something I can't remember. Rehab. They do food. They have a whole jerk spot, drinks during the day.
Mm,
Like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
mm. Yeah, so that's what's happening. So the whole night when it comes to that thing has changed it's now transformed into something else. But it's good because there are a huge selection of there's Footprints, which is another one that does the same thing. You know what I mean? Footprints is on a Thursday night, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's quite a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a lot of music. Like I said, quote unquote restaurant clubs that are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm.
Oh, African. Oh, Mandeville is a special. Okay. Yeah.
African King. Okay.
Manchester. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. See,
mm,
no, I was gonna say. So yeah. So that's what the nightlife is now in
mm,
Jamaica.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, that's how Pier 1 is too. You eat and then you party later on.
Yeah, and even when we went to that place in Port Antonio, it's the same thing. Remember when we went to where we went to what restaurant
Roots,
name again? Root
the
Root Root
roots,
Roots. What's it called? Roots.
I
Roots.
think Roots 21 or
Yeah, I said Roots 21. It's the same thing. Because I think on a Friday, it's the same thing. The
mhm.
place we eat, and then on a Friday evening, with music play. You know. Mm.
That's how it is at Milestone in St. Anne. That it's a restaurant, but then they have events in the evening. A lot of a lot of places is like that. I mean, I think it's a good idea.
Well, like I said, it's changed, you know, and it's down to maintenance, from what I was told.
Mhm.
Um, because maintaining a club which is not doing nothing during the day, you're
Mhm.
losing money, you know. So whereas you can have the two,
Mhm.
you know. But yeah. So
Mhm.
so yeah, so but yes. Anyone got anything else to say?
I think. I wonder if the Jungle and the Grill do anything in the daytime. I highly doubt it, but that was one of the bigger clubs.
Where?
The Jungle.
Okay, no. Okay. Oh wow, they got terrible. You
No.
drive from Washington D.C. state to New York for a date. Oh, you're good
Yeah,
with that.
I
No, what's
used
up, man? I did this. I did from Toronto to Connecticut for a date. But my worked out.
I used to get on the coaster bus and go. So I wasn't driving. I get on the coaster bus and go, and then go party, and then get back on the coaster and try not to fall asleep coming back to Louisville. Yeah, I used to.
Uh,
Yeah, I used to come to Asylum, and then I used to always also do Wedding Wednesday.
okay. There's another one actually. Well, when they come to dance art thing, there's my guy the Alfie plays down at oh gosh, what my boy name? Ramesh down at
Okay,
down at uh down off of the Walton. There's a whole for
okay,
that too.
okay.
Whole for that. Yeah, whole for them thing that take place, you know. So like I said, you still have the Raytown Sunday, it's not done in Raytown, it's no
Mhm.
no, is it it's up by Chelsea Avenue, if I remember rightly. So much, so much something you can't keep up. But there's always something going on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
always.
what I like. That's one thing that I truly love about Jamaica, and be like, well, what's going on tonight? Something be going on tonight. It'd be a Wednesday night. They have something going on.
Yeah,
A Tuesday night, something is going on.
damn. I hear you, boss. Oh wow.
No, yeah, no,
I hear you, boss.
why? Uh-uh. No, 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 no,
Tell
no.
you what a man would do for a woman, man. I tell you.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm. At that point, you would have just slept in her settee, just not to drive that far.
you know,
Something.
you know.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, but yeah, what was I gonna say?
I
So
got
yeah,
I got
so
I
hmm,
got the AC on. That's why I'm not sweating.
she lucky you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I'm where I'm in the house, because I should really have been outside. Tell you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
it's cool outside.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but,
But
but
I'm not lucky. My JPS bill is 20,000. I'm not lucky. I prepared myself for that because I knew that it was gonna be a lot.
yeah, very maxing and relaxing. Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, man. Kingston is always there's always something going on in Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
Always. You can't go wrong with that. And contrary to what I mean, what people think, it's somebody. I was reading on social media about they always come back to crime and
Mm-hmm.
oh yes, Jamaica turned like Haiti and way and I said hold on a second. I said if Jamaica was anywhere near Haiti, it wouldn't have some fest. You know what I mean?
Right.
I said you wouldn't have people coming out at night to a concert in Jamaica or anywhere near Haiti. So that must tell you as an indicator that obviously it's not as bad as people really make it out to be. Because
Right.
things are going on all the time and people are go out and enjoy themselves. And
Right.
you know what I mean? So whether how can we be close to or even near one Haiti? So we're not, you know?
No. No. And it's
King
interesting.
Yeah, King Naldo, yeah. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I said, don't. I said, don't believe the hype, man. I said, don't believe the hype. So those things were so bad, those things were bad, that bad in Jamaica, things wouldn't go on.
Right. And the thing about it, if things were that bad in Jamaica, the tourists would be affected.
Exactly, exactly. And bearing in mind what the incident what I have up at the Rio, up at Ochi, when the man I'm going to go rob it. You know what I mean?
What?
And
Come
remember
again?
that up at the Rio, man, they had an incident last month. There's some man going to go rob it. And
Oh,
but you're not about what I'm to them. I'm guaranteed to you, say them not depend on earth anymore.
Oh no, sir. No, 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 no.
You know what I mean? Guaranteed to you. You're nothing about that.
Mm-mm.
So but yeah, man. By the way, I just thought I should have because I just think that sometimes people take this thing out of context.
You
You
know
know?
what's funny? I'm not gonna bet I didn't even hear about the Ryu incident.
Yeah. See, so I
No,
mean,
I didn't hear about that. No,
serious.
no.
Okay. Yeah. Two man going on over the power of the guard, and it was late at night though. So
Uh-huh.
a couple of the guests must have get robbed, and they must have robbed the office. But I guarantee to you that them probably not up on the earth no more.
But I'm still thinking, I'm like, okay, they probably got more from the guests than they did the office because they don't have money laying around to Ryu like that.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm saying that because you haven't heard nothing else. So
Right.
I'm suspect. Like I said, when it comes, remember now, as you and I know, when it comes to tourism and tourists, man, you don't touch that.
No,
You can do anything else.
no.
You can do anything
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Exactly. That's what I keep telling people too. I'm like, you're not going to be bothered. Even
No,
sometimes when people hear your accent, even though you're not a tourist, they walk the other way or they change their tone with you.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're not. You're not gonna. So like I said, I haven't heard anything more. So I'm suspecting that them are not afraid of the earth anymore. You know. But what's this question by King now though? What do you think about the diplomatic fight? It's not a diplomatic fight. I just, I don't think, it's one of the things that to me America is trying to bully Jamaica, and Jamaica basically telling us no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? It's a storm in a teacup to me. We don't really. America try impose them things on other people.
One country has a certain laws and
Yeah,
regulations, just like every country and every state in the US have different laws.
exactly.
So Jamaica has their own set of laws.
Right.
And in the US, they want to impose and
Yeah.
say, well, you need to do it because it's so and so and so and so. But Jamaica's like, no, we have
Yeah. We have our own
it's
law.
we have our own laws, our own customs, our own culture. America is just being America.
Yep. See him so. See him
Mm.
so. You
I
know?
mean, this thing between them is no different than the lady that was over there screaming in the face of the man over in Dubai. What was Dubai, right? The
Yes.
trucker lady. I mean, it's about the same. It's basically around the same thing.
Yeah.
She was over there breaking
Yeah.
laws, and she don't want, and she's better than that. So this is the same thing. They want Jamaica to break a law because they're better than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And even with them not extending the diplomats, I mean, okay, now extend so it doesn't understand another tool. You know what I mean?
Right.
It does,
And yeah, then they're gonna turn around and bring them back up. So
yeah, it's
yeah.
just to me, like I said, it's one of the things, and it's one of the things I've always said about America to a great extent, which I never liked. It's this thing that they have this belief that everybody must fall in line with what they say or what they believe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you're transgressing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Mm-mm. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you know.
It's I'm like, okay, all right, America.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, they are. They are the world police, except they don't police themselves.
you know what I mean.
Here we go. Uh-huh.
Yep, exactly,
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I guess people used to it by now. So they're just like, you know what, US, whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm. But I think eventually it's going to fix itself or do whatever they do. Hopefully they won't stand off too long and they'll figure something else out.
Yeah. Exactly. 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 So if they don't, if they, them two they can't come, send a husband and wife team. You know what I mean?
Right. It's very interesting how they're trying to. They don't. Jamaica doesn't even have that category of that particular category for those particular type of people, but they're trying to make them have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And you know,
Exactly.
everything that goes to Parliament, it take 10 years in Parliament, so
Right.
they want something overnight. They want it to happen immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. You know. But there's an entire process, and it's already been said
Right.
by the Minister of Justice that now gonna happen in Jamaica. So,
No, no,
and now got many times soon, so them can't stay there. If them think them can't
no,
enforce that in Jamaica.
no. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And
Yes, it
then
is.
I don't think that it would be. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's why I'm not a politician because I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, man. But yeah, you know,
So again, basically, we're just talking. Oh wait, yeah,
yeah,
yes, yep. That's what they're doing.
yep,
They're treating Jamaica like it's a state, um, under federal laws. Of course, they do that all the time to countries.
yes, they do. And then try to find
Hmm.
ways of extorting them. So
Hmm.
we cut your aid because you're not. You're not conforming to what we want you to conform to.
Hmm. 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 And say they not this and not that and not this, but when they're on, boy, anyway. I'm glad I just live here in Jamaica. Let me stop worrying about the U.S. problem. You know that's how I deal with everything. That's U.S. business and U.S. problems. I'm in Jamaica. Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah. Um. So yeah. So any questions anyone's got to ask? There's a little talk about foreigners taking over Jamaica. What are you seeing on the ground? Oh boy. and you see, all right. In what respect? Now that's the first thing I'd ask. Foreigners taking over what? You know. If they're talking about people coming in and investing, it's entirely different thing. But when I hear foreigners taking over, Jamaica has always been a country of foreign investors. Always. You know what I mean? It hasn't changed from that. It hasn't changed from even before independence. To tell you the truth, we never actually been independent. But Jamaica has always had foreign investors. Jamaica has always had people invested, even if they're diasporan. So when I hear this thing about, I went to the event, July, Christmas in July, over by the AC Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's an event of exhibitors, entrepreneurs, Jamaicans, strictly Jamaican, nothing foreign, strictly Jamaican. And when you go into the event, Ice, you see different categories. You have fashion, you have aromatherapy, you have
Mm-hmm.
artwork, you have natural products, you have um, cakes, pastries, that kind of stuff. just in
Mhm.
that space.
Mhm.
So whenever I hear somebody talk about foreigners taking over, I say, yeah, but I was at an event where, and that's not even all the entrepreneurs that there could be in that one space. I said that these are Jamaican people building their
Right.
businesses right in Jamaica. So,
Right.
so, and I think the misconception has been is that because it's so. For example, you have Chinese who are visible, right? People see the Chinese and see the roads and see the Chinese are taking over. All right, the Chinese are the merchants in terms of doing kind of stores. The Indians are the same thing. But I've never heard anybody say, well, hold on a minute. What about the Jamaican businesses that are owned by Jamaicans, black Jamaicans, rather than white?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
so they may not be a merchant, they may not be a grocer, but guess what? They may have a manufacturing company, or they may have a human resource company, or they may have a corporate company, a business.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they're making. So I always see this argument. Say, yeah, but it's not just you have these people who are pretty good at what they're doing in one particular sector. What about the rest?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I said, and if you look, and if people do look outside of the norm of the Chinaman and the corner store, they would see that there's a lot of Jamaicans that own and run their own businesses outside of that industry. You know what I mean?
I never had a Chinese. I never had any other landlord besides a Jamaican.
You know, the mechanic that I probably have for my car is gonna be a Jamaican.
I
You know what
bought
I mean?
my car. I bought my car from a Jamaican
Exactly. So,
dealership, and I have a Jamaican mechanic.
exactly. The
And I
electrician who comes to my house is a Jamaican.
go to a Jamaican parts store to get my parts for my vehicle.
So when I hear, I said, well, taking over what? If it's this particular industries, yes, where you may have more foreigners than Jamaicans, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean that Jamaicans not in it. It's just that you have more foreigners in that particular industry. But you
Mhm.
have Jamaicans elsewhere. Of all the stock exchange, because prior to COVID, because I was doing some research around it for a business that I was in, pre-COVID, Jamaica had one of the best stock one of the best performing stock exchanges in the world. One of the
Mhm.
best. You know what I mean? Prior to pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So, and those companies on the stock exchange are Jamaican. You know what I mean?
Jamaican
Invested by
stock
Jamaicans.
exchange.
Exactly. Invested by
Yeah.
Jamaicans in Jamaica, working in Jamaica. They're not companies that were, subsidiaries of companies. They're Jamaican companies on the Jamaican stock exchange. You understand?
Mhm.
I think that sometimes people need to educate themselves a bit more rather than and I'm not it's not in regards to the question, Simone. It's just that I think people that we're very emotive, we're very knee jerk around certain things. Rather than looking at the bigger picture, we look at a small part of the picture and not look at the bigger picture in regards to how Jamaica functions. And like I said,
Mhm.
there are industries where Jamaicans aren't involved. So, for example, Jamaicans aren't involved in the airport. Obvious reason we couldn't run an airline. You know, I mean, the one airline that we have, we couldn't run it. So
No.
they get somebody who can run it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
so yeah, I just think that people just need to take a breath and say, hold on a second. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's my point, Simone, is that there are companies, businesses. Like I said, I went to an event called Christmas in July where there was a snippet of entrepreneurs in Jamaica doing them thing. I said, I think what tends to happen is that people don't know that there are the companies or businesses that are owned by Jamaicans doing work in Jamaica and building business in Jamaica. People don't know. So they have this perception that Jamaica's been taken over. No, it's not. No, it's not. Majority of the companies and businesses in Jamaica are Jamaican owned.
Mhm.
No, Elizabeth, the Chinese aren't running the wharf. They're not running the wharf. The wharf has been run by Kingston Wharves in terms of management. The Chinese may own it, but the
Mhm.
management, the day-to-day management of it, and again, they're doing it under lease. The day-to-day management of it is is done by Kingston Wharf, which is a Jamaican business. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So you've again, like I said, this thing, companies do it all the time. You know, and again, this is something of it because yeah, but but it's not Jamaicans in Jamaica though. That's the thing. It's not Jamaicans in Jamaica who have the hostility towards the Chinese. You
Mhm.
know, And I'm going to give a couple of examples of that. 'Cause when the Chinese first came into Jamaica, I don't know if you not remember, Aish, when they were building the highway, the North South Highway,
Mm-hmm.
they had remember they had signage where they were keeping all the equipment and stuff in Chinese. I'll not forget this.
Yes.
They had the signage in Chinese.
Yes.
And the Jamaicans said, no man, I'm gonna take that down. And this is not China. I'm gonna take that down. And they had to take it down. So when people talk about it, I say, no, and no, they're not here to help build roads and other things. But no. So there's a lot of misinformation, I believe, around that. And in regards to the wharf, and I'm going to give an example of that. The wharf was owned between the Jamaican government and the French. Now I think the French had more. The French had the major shares in the wharf. So the French sold their shares to the Chinese. And then the Chinese approach the Jamaican government and say, yeah, we buy your shares based on X amount of dollars. And the Jamaican government sold their shares in the wharf. And that's how the Chinese get to own the wharf. But the management of the wharf is done by Kingston Wharves. So it's a business transaction. It's not as if it's underhanded thing this happens in international business all the time. So I think people need to take a check and realize, hold on a minute. And like I said, all right, the corporate as you know, the biggest bank is National Commercial Bank. Now, National Commercial Bank makes billions of Jamaican dollars, and it's Jamaican owned. You know what I mean? It's not a foreign bank.
And he happens to own Super Plus, the biggest grocery chain in it was the biggest grocery chain in Jamaica for a very long time.
Yeah. So again, I just think that people aren't aware and don't keep themselves informed in terms of what's happening on the ground in Jamaica. And like I said, majority of the businesses that I saw at Christmas in July were Jamaican. Well, all of them were Jamaican, I should say. It was a Jamaican event showcasing Jamaican businesses, small businesses doing them thing. And if you extrapolate that, if you just talk about like I said in regards to her mechanic's Jamaican, my mechanic was Jamaican, my electrician's Jamaican. So you know what I mean? It's not a Chinese man that come to my life. It's a Jamaican man. A plumber in Jamaica, whatever. So we have to really take it into context and understand, what I mean, the bigger picture rather than looking at it from the lens of so what I mean, what we may think about particular things. That's my view. I just think. Yeah.
You said, Kwame, we always say investors from other countries, because during the slavery, it was the French, the Spanish, the English, the Dutch, the Germans, the Portuguese, all on one island.
You understand?
That didn't exist anywhere else because they were fighting over territory.
Exactly.
But that is nowhere else but in Jamaica because of the location and what it offered. Yes.
And there's another example I'm going to give actually, which and I guess you're probably aware of this too. Remember when the Chinese wanted Goat Island?
Yeah.
Remember they wanted Goat Island to be a hub. Remember, and the reason why I'm giving these examples, I want people to understand that it's not everything that only here goes so. The Chinese wanted Goat Island. They wanted to create a hub in Goat Island. Now, when the people here said the Chinese wanted Goat Island, them raised a stink. I think the Prime Minister actually took a trip out there and had a look. And I must admit, I've been over there and it's very, very nice, very peaceful and everything. And then when he came away and he saw what it was in terms of the sanctuary, he said, no, they're not going to overturn that. He said, no, that's not going to happen. Hopefully it will remain that way, that they won't go there and trouble it for what it is in terms of the sanctuary. But at this point in time, the Jamaican people caused uproar and it didn't happen. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to happen in every case, because there'll probably be something else where something is raised and the government feel that it's the best for the country and people think that it's not. And there'll be a debate about it. But the point of the matter is that when it comes to businesses and the function of the business in Jamaica, there are thriving Jamaican businesses as well as their foreign investors investing in Jamaica. So,
That's like in the tourist industry, sandals. Jamaican born, Jamaican raised sandals.
Exactly.
the grandfather of all resorts. That's who all the all inclusive resorts are modeled after is Sandals.
Exactly. Butch. So yeah. So yeah. I hear that about I hear that, but Black Jamaicans are doing very well. I can tell you that. I can tell you that.
Mhm.
Black Jamaicans are doing very well.
I also think because in Montego Bay, a lot of these plazas are owned by Black Jamaicans that the Chinese rent out to run a store.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then, well, again, see, I think someone's talking about sandals. Yeah, sandals. Well, there may be white people, but they're Jamaicans, and people argue with that. You know what I mean? Whether the white people are the white Europeans or the white Jamaicans, and people say
Mhm.
they're Jamaicans. First and foremost, because I want to tell you, sandals has done a lot in regards to employment and employees as well as Jamaican economy. Because of one time, it was the only business. All right, we know that Air Jamaica was around at one time, and Butch wanted the airline to bring tourists to his resorts. But he had
Mhm.
invested when the government of the day had actually run the airline to the ground. He was the one who actually went in and invested in it. But and again, there could be an argument about that. But the fact of the matter is that it's not only white Jamaicans who invest in Jamaica. That's what I said. Is you have black African Jamaicans who invest in Jamaica and are doing very well in Jamaica. And
Mhm.
again, um, Victoria Mutual, which I do know of very
Mhm.
well, CEO and the majority of the board are black Jamaicans, and Victoria Mutual is one of the biggest business societies in Jamaica, one of the oldest, if not the oldest, business society in Jamaica with billions in investments. So,
Mhm.
you know, but it's one of those things where and everywhere you go. So, and even, I share this about London, which a lot of people don't know. The city of London is not owned by the government of London; it's owned by the Arabs. The city of London, which is the money center for the UK. You know what I mean? And,
Mhm.
and when you share those kind of things, and people say, "Yeah, but the English," say, "Yeah, people come in and invest in your country because they can get a benefit out of it." You know what I mean? But it's it's not Jamaica's not the only one who's done that. Jamaica's not the only one who sold their WAF. Even the Kenyans have done it. You know what I mean? So it's the government will try to see whatever for whatever reason that they're going to allow a company or a country to come in and invest in their country for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like I
Mhm.
said, and the UK, the city of London itself is majority of it's owned by the Arabs, and that's a multi-billion center in terms of transactions of that, and it's not owned by the English or the British. It happens all the time. It happens all the
Mhm.
time. And in the States, much less. The States no one none. All the debt is incurred by by Chinese.
Mhm. If I'm not mistaken, the wharf, the city that I lived in, the wharf was owned by the Chinese.
Yeah, it's owned by the Chinese.
Mhm.
So all countries have some sort of something where them sell. You know,
Mhm.
all countries. Jamaica not the only one. You know what I mean? Yeah, the US have debt, and the US have debt to the Arabs. They're indebted to the Arabs. That's why they really can't talk to them.
So, see. Oh
No,
yeah,
they won't.
yeah.
Exactly. And the British wouldn't have done it either. You know, the
No, the
British wouldn't
British
have
want to build prisons.
the British wouldn't have done it either. And the British were the owners of Jamaica. The British sucked Jamaica dry.
They
You know?
wanted to build. They wanted to gift us a prison. Remember they kept trying to give us a state of the art prison,
Exactly. You know what I mean?
and the
That's all the
government
thing.
said no, we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So yeah, countries do it all the time. Jamaica is one of those countries where, and um, yeah, and like I said, Jamaica has always been this way. It has always been transient. It has never been anything else but transient. You know what I mean? From ever since. You know,
Let me
ever
tell you,
since. It's more or
he
less like that's all we know. That's all we know.
Noble said that he heard Jamaica is seeing positive growth in the tech field
Yeah,
as manufacturing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's the Like I said, entrepreneurism in Jamaica is on the rise. It's the highest that I've ever seen it in being involved with Jamaica and being back home and everything else. Um, and technology to a great extent. The technology and young people driving technology is phenomenal. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
ideas that they're coming out with is yeah, it's leaps and bounds of. And I guess you find that even when because I'm watching the program, I'm seeing what happening in Ghana, where you have young people who are driving um, economic change and growth through technology. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I just in Jamaica's case, I just want it to be where we enable more young people to be involved in
Mm-hmm.
it. You know, um, especially in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know, nothing wrong with investors coming in with them to expect to help us. Plus, the government should not be running business. That's exactly, King Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You know, and that's what the government of the day at this point in time is trying to do a lot of projects are public privates, you know, in terms of the big capital projects, infrastructure projects that they're doing. You know what I mean? I thought because, as you said, they haven't got the expertise to do these things, so they have to bring in somebody else to do them for them. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point in time, are the Chinese, you know, for example, for the big infrastructure projects, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I would also go back. Like I said, I would go back because it's interesting, especially when it comes to this debate. Yeah, people complain about, you know, what I mean, foreigners are taking over. But then you said, okay, foreigners are taking over. Who else is going to invest? For example, even though we know there's a lot of black businesses or Jamaican businesses that exist, who else is going to come? Are the diasporans going to come and set up business in Jamaica? And then you hear a complaint about how difficult it is to set up business in Jamaica. And you say to yourself, no, it's not. It's not difficult to set up business in Jamaica. You know,
No, no,
you know,
no. It's it's one of the easiest processes I ever seen in my entire life.
exactly. And I mean, people say, oh, foreigners can come and set business.
You need a
No, but
tutorial and
it's not difficult to do. It's not difficult to do. It's not difficult to do. Anybody can set up a business in Jamaica. Anybody. Once you have the registration and everything else in terms of dollars and pay where you go pay and you do your
and,
search and everything. It's not difficult to do.
and TRN.
And you just, and you people complain, so no, it's
And,
not difficult to do.
and then you can assign somebody to go do it for you. You don't even have to be present.
Exactly. you know, so again, what I mean, I said, no, man. And an example of that is, and an example of that is the fact that the amount of people that I know who have set up businesses in a very short space of time in Jamaica, and they're entrepreneurs in their own right, small business owners. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And yeah, Rick, it's interesting that no, you say no foreign entity should own any country's ports, but are you aware that they're going to create Kingston to be a hub for the Caribbean and South America?
Mhm.
And that will mean that it's going to be a transshipment point for ships coming through Panama Canal because the Panama Canal is being widened, which means there's going to be bigger ships. Jamaica has the seventh deepest harbor in the entire world. So there's no other harbor in the proximity of the Panama Canal.
Mhm.
So in order for Jamaica to benefit from what's going to happen to the Panama Canal, they have to upgrade the wharf. As a matter of fact, they're gonna extend the wharf. Right? The Jamaica does not have the money to do that. That's the first thing. So what the government of Jamaica had to balance in its own right. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying what the fact is. What they had to balance is the fact that okay, we need to benefit from how these ships are going to be coming through the Panama Canal to stop
Mhm.
in Jamaica, to grow business in Jamaica and to grow the economy, help with the economy. We don't have the money to extend to the wharf, and the only way we can do that is if we get somebody to come in and do that on our behalf. And anybody who's going to come in is going to look at that business proposal and say, boy, listen, these ships coming in, we don't want apartheid, we want allied. We want to own the entire wharf, which is what the Chinese have. In terms of the management, like I said, it's done by Kingston Wharf. What the Chinese have done is not, they didn't come in directly. They saw what's going to happen with the harbor as it is and bought the shares from the majority shares from the French and then presented to the Jamaican government, and they said, you know what, listen, this is the best thing for us and the best thing for the country. This is what we're going to do. So whether it's a debatable in regards to no foreign country can own the WAF. It was already owned by the French, and the French sold on their shares. And the reason why it was owned by the French because the Jamaican government was looking for investment to upgrade the WAF what it is. It's it's going to benefit Jamaica in the long run because of what they're doing to upgrade the WAF owned by the Chinese, because the Chinese have the money for do it at the end of the day. So at the end, so if that wasn't so because they're saying here no investment or investment is that important, I disagree, because it wouldn't make sense to have bigger ships going elsewhere, and plus they probably have to take a longer journey to get there. If you see an opportunity, you make it happen for the country and for the people. You know what I mean? For what that, and that is something is which and and I'm not against foreign because all that money coming in, they cannot upgrade the hospitals.
They actually are.
I know Carmel Regional is now being into a first world hospital. It's the process of being rebuilt. I know that they've also looked to decentralize and upgrade local community facilities, medical facilities. So it's an ongoing work, and I do agree with you that there's a lot more that can be done in regards to the hospitals. You know what I mean? But you have to remember, sometimes when investors are coming, it's not gonna invest in something that is the upgrade of hospitals and so on and so forth, Simone. It's down to the government. It's government responsibility, not for a foreign investor. You know what I mean? A foreign investor is going to come invest in something which is going to get potential return on investment. That's what a foreign investor is for. The rewards of upgrading governments, upgrading hospitals is down to the government. But the investors coming in for business opportunity to get a return on investment. So two different things completely. But so yeah, at the end of the day, as some of the King Nado said to the naysayers who keep saying Chinese are taking over Jamaica. Thank you, sir. That's what we tell them all the while. Exactly. For almost exactly. There's no takeover of when it comes to Chinese. All right. Then the same thing I said earlier. Most of America's waters are owned by the pipeline. There you go. Exactly. Thank you, King Naldo. And like I said, the UK is central, the city of London, where business transactions in terms of multi-billion deals are done, is owned by the Arabs. So if them people can have them type of people, why they can just take over though? Thank you, King Naldo. Yeah, exactly. It happens all the time, But I think that sometimes, with the majority of the time, we're not well informed, and we go by emotive reaction rather than checking out the facts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely see that all the time.
All the time, But you're right. Thank you, Kinada. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said earlier. So it's not nothing new phenomenon. And even if we were to go across the Caribbean, we probably see other islands who have done the same thing, just that we're not informed. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, and like I said before, we do have Jamaican businesses doing very well, very, very well. Owned by Jamaicans, African Jamaicans,
Yeah. I see them all the time driving their Porsches and Benzes and
there you go. Giving them big oaths.
all in villas with imported wood floors from Brazil and
exactly.
Marble from Italy, and yes.
Yeah, believe. That's an interesting point, Simone. I have my own opinions about that too. The gentrification where? Because gentrification means going into a community, removing the people, and then upgrading the place for other people to come in. That's what gentrification means. Where I haven't, in my opinion, I haven't seen that happening in Jamaica. I've seen it happen in the UK. but not in Jamaica. What you have in Jamaica is you have particular spots. So, for example, everybody talks about this when you rejuvenation of downtown. Now you know ice. Downtown come from east to all the way west,
Mhm.
right? So it's a wide area. See? Now, for all of that area to be rejuvenated, it's going to take another generation, in my opinion.
Mhm.
What has happened is that the front part, which is by the waterfront, has been, and plus it was as empty factories, empty buildings were all along there, right? Along Harbour Street, all along
Mhm.
there. So what they started to do, and which they've done in terms of the Rock Hotel, they built it up, rebuilt it, and all that front part by Victoria Pier, near over Harbour Street, has been redone. Water lane, all of that's nice and looks good. But I've said that it's not going to encroach further into downtown because downtown is so depraved and it's a large area. It's going to take a long time before any gentrification takes place, especially in terms of ghetto areas in Jamaica and Kingston. It's not just you can't just talk out in a particular area and tell people to move out and then you come in and rebuild. That's not gonna happen. No, get to areas in Kingston. People have burned that down before that happened. And no, you have to make me a part of what go on. You know what I mean? So any gentrification has to benefit the people who live there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
What they did in Montego Bay, so it's one area, Barnett Lane. What they did was they built housing because it was just all these people living in the lane. A lot of people living by the railroad tracks, and they were trying to redo, just fix that area. Period.
Yeah.
So they built housing,
Exactly.
and housing available,
Exactly.
and everyone moved from down there.
There you
But
go.
have they done anything with they just tore the buildings down. They haven't really done any type of work down there.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, but not now.
No. You know.
No. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
but it's not the same as in terms of gentrification in my mind. And in Kingston you find that new apartments are going up, but they're not in the ghetto areas. They're uptown. you
That's
know?
how it is here. Because if you haven't noticed, like you're going towards the grill, right
Yeah,
over there in that area,
yeah,
um, it's just nothing but new apartment buildings. And
yeah,
then so what they're doing here too, in other areas, they keep building housing schemes because it's no housing, and the housing isn't really for. It's because it's a housing shortage here in Montego Bay because all the resorts and the resort
yeah,
workers coming in from the country, so they keep building housing.
yeah.
Um, and then also what they do is they were trying to redo downtown, but they just said, "Oh, forget it." So they just built a whole nother. They built over there at Fairview and Bogue, and they built that up over there.
Exactly,
Moved everything over there.
exactly. And like I said, and even if you were to take it, and like I said, gentrification is about moving one set of people and bringing another set of people into new developments. If we were to take it to the extreme, look at Francas, which overlooks the airport. Now that's a
Mhm,
beautiful location, right?
mhm.
Beautiful location. But I guarantee to you that nobody not gonna try going to go move out nobody for we build nothing new. We're bringing new people. And not so gentrification in my mind in Jamaica to a great extent, especially looking like in those places, in the places where there's extreme poverty and deprivation, community deprivation, it's very difficult to do because yeah, it's difficult to move on one set of people to bring in a new set of people in particular areas in Jamaica because, like I said, people not gonna tolerate that. They're burn that down.
Yeah, and then the thing about it too is a lot of people they they're not gonna want to move. They're gonna put up protests. They just not gonna move. And then if they finally get out, like you said, when they put something up new, they're gonna come back and burn it down.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
I don't know where
also the reputation of that
exactly
particular
of that
area is
exactly.
gonna
So,
be stuck to it.
yeah, and as Simone says here, she hears people can afford to buy properties. That which is true. Properties in particular areas are difficult to buy. It's not pricing people out of their community. I don't think that's the case. I think
No.
that it's not the case. The first part is true because real estate goes up in Jamaica in particular areas, but it's
Mm,
not pricing anyone out of anywhere.
mm-mm.
No, it's not pricing. It's not pricing people out of their community. It's not. It's not. It's nothing like that here. Like I said before, that's not happening. That part is not happening, guaranteed. Because if that was to happen, in terms of, trust me, them people them will burn down whatever it is.
All right. So listen. So I'm in, like I said, I'm in Montego Bay. So one area that's adjacent to the ghetto that they it used to be what you call this? It used to be sugarcane. They built a whole community over there. It was priced reasonable. It was priced for the current market. And it's a wonderful community. It's a gated community. It's priced for the housing for regular 2 bedroom house in the area. They were starting at 15 million, which is reasonable. And so that's what they're doing. Some people can't afford it, but a lot of people from that same ghetto were able to get housing over there. And
Yes.
that's what they did. And it's the same thing with a couple of the new community I live in, and then it's another one back. So it's just communities sprouting up.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
and then they also have other property and other developments like the luxury one that they're building. The area that it's in is gonna match the price of the area,
Mm.
the homes that's in that area already.
Exactly. Yeah. So I wouldn't say the pricing them out to the community. It's just that, like I said, it's depending on where. Because again, like I said, in Kingston, that's not happening. That's not happening at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening at all, at all, at all. I think
Mm-hmm.
Naga says, I can't understand why people are so fearful of foreign investment. A dude posted on another page recently saying he would love to see check. Yeah, that's short-sightedness, man. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That's short-sightedness. Does he know that the road going out to the east was given to Jamaican contractors, right? The
Mm-hmm.
highway, and the man they mess up the thing so badly that the government have a turn to check to get the thing done. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, that's what
Because
happened.
that part of the highway should have been finished.
Exactly. And there was problems with it. There's a lot of issues with the contractors and the quality of work and so on and so forth. And Andrew
Mm-hmm.
get upset and say, this thing I can't go on. So I gave the contract to the Chinese. So
Okay.
yeah, so so it's gonna get done. you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, So yeah, so I agree with the kind of thing now though. You know what I mean? At least them get the work done. You know,
Mm-hmm.
mm, get the work done. So
I
that's
mean, like once you're here and you live in here, you can see what is what and what isn't what.
yeah, exactly, exactly,
Because online it's just a lot of people talking and half of them don't even live here.
exactly.
And then the other half is living in yesteryear. So 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 it's a lot of that of when they live in back
That's true. It's true.
Horse and
It's
Bucky
true.
Way.
Everybody have an opinion on social media.
Yes.
You know, everybody. And the verse, like I said, outside of Jamaica, worse. Everybody has an opinion because I'm here said this or here that or, you know what I
Right.
mean. And you're right. They're not on the ground to see for themselves what is really going on.
No. No. Mm-mm.
You know.
Mm-mm. And then they act like then also they say they say Jamaica. So they say the whole entire
Yes.
Jamaica
Yes.
when
Yes.
they really mean Kingston, Montego Bay,
Yes.
Mandeville,
Exactly. Exactly.
Ocho
Exactly.
Rios.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because what's happening, what people are talking about are happening in the urban areas. The country is
Yes.
not affecting the country people who still have 174 acres of land that
Exactly.
they don't have nothing to do. They can't do anything on it or don't want to do anything on it.
Yeah, true, true. That's true. That's so true. That's so true. That's so true.
Because I mean, in some communities in rural Jamaica, I haven't seen uh, any type of foreign influence.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But Rick, that's what needs to happen though, don't you? You make your government accountable. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you make sure that the government listens.
Mhm.
Because they will see things from their particular eyes, and the people have to make them know. That's what it's all about in terms of democracy, really. And
Mhm.
that's what you want. You want that,
Mm.
But like I said to you before, the government has also they also listened to the people when the Chinese came with this Chinese signage, and they also taught understood the people when they tried to talk about Goat Island. You know, so you want that. The people need to do that. To make the government know so that people are watching and people are listening and make them accountable. You
Mhm.
know, yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, make them accountable.
Yeah. 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 Yep. A lot of unused farmland. Mhm.
Yeah, man. No, you go inland, there's whole land. I have land up in that hill. I probably have to plant ganja upon it. Yeah, man.
Mhm. Right now, I'm waiting for the yam prices to drop in January because I'm gonna throw out a whole heap of yam. I'm gonna go buy me about 100 to 200 yam heads and
Oh
go
wow.
buy money. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
you know.
Mhm.
But
So
yeah,
I'm
man.
right now. I'm gonna put some planting on there, but I was like, you know what? I'll just wait. I'll just wait for the yam heads to drop, for the prices to drop, because right now they're kind of high.
yeah. That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Mhm.
But yeah.
No, it's I don't know. Like I said, you have to be here to really analyze,
Yes.
to really to take everything in and analyze.
Yes. Yes. That's right. Yeah.
No.
You got to be. Yeah, that's right. All over the world. All over the world, you're gonna find that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
But
think politicians live in a different world than everyone else.
you know,
That's what happens when you appoint people to make decisions for you.
exactly, exactly, and you're the one who has to make them accountable for whatever decision they make.
Right. Right. Mhm. Mhm. No.
But you're right, Ice. You have to be on the ground. You have to be on the ground and speak.
Mhm.
You know.
But see, one thing that I can say about Jamaica, it takes forever for something to happen. So sometimes people see, oh, this something popped up. Do you know how long they were in planning with that? It took 10 years for them to get approval to build it. NEPA
Yes.
had to do this. These people had to do that. It had to go over here. They had to have a certain amount of people from the community to work over here and this. So sometimes people just think, oh, that just happened overnight. No, it took five. I know somebody was saying it took him 5 years to build something, and he'll never build anything else in Jamaica because it took 5 years for approval.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
know. But yeah. But yeah. But yeah. For real.
Mhm.
For real. For real. For real.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I say, under the guise of investment and growth, everything for sale. Yeah. Well. Everything for sale. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty soon there won't be nothing else left to sell.
Yeah.
Mhm. They're just gonna start recycling things
Yeah.
like they do in the states. Remember, this is one country.
True, man. Tell you, brother. And you know what? I'm calm out. I'm calm down there, Because
Wait,
what me
wait,
have, what me have in the king now, though, I should have there at the front. Because
let
the
me
front
give you
cooler.
some. See, there you go, Kwame. You feel it?
Cause the front cooler. You know what I mean? And what me have is a concrete roof. I mean, on the AC. And that's why. But the front cooler, I should have there at the front. You know?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I show I'm in the AC for true.
I love my AC. I still don't know how I did without it for about. How long
Uh,
I didn't have AC for
I forget
about.
that AC one for true.
I didn't have AC maybe for I didn't have AC for about for I didn't have AC for about. I've been here for 10 years.
Oh wow.
I didn't have AC or hot water for 10 years. I'm
Yeah.
spoiled now. I moved up in life. I got a promotion.
And for you look, even if I'm in a car,
Uh
I
huh.
don't like AC. I don't like AC. I want natural breeze.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I can't. I don't like AC.
Of course, some of my bill is high right now. I budget for it. So right now my bill is 20,000. So that means I can't get my hair done and my nails done. So I'll sacrifice. And I can only buy from the cook shop one time for the week. I sacrifice. And no foreign snacks. No foreign snacks and no ice cream. I will sacrifice.
Oh wow.
I'll try to find some extra work so I can pay this JPS bill. Because it's a wall house and so it's deck. So when the heat hit, it just hit and it just sit in the wall and soak in the wall all day. And so the heat just radiating the inside. No matter how much you open the windows and the doors.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah,
like a hot box.
yeah. The front part of my apartment, of where I am, is my studio. It's cooler than it
Okay.
is here. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
I can sleep at night because it's cooler at the front than it is at the back.
Uh-huh.
Mm, you know. But
Hmm.
keep that little mini AC.
No, because right now I'm touching the wall right now and it's warm, even though I have the
Yeah,
AC on.
yeah, man, yeah, man. And then the other thing which I have to face because I have water lockup. Because water is oh, water water lock off
Mm-hmm.
because especially as because in Kingston, water is precious, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Being on a flat and the demand for water. So water lock off in the evenings, and I have water in buckets and stuff like that. Man, you see when I the water warm, so taste like me have hot water boiler. I tell you, I tell you, I said to myself, look at that, we never have a boiler and the water warm, So you go to
Okay.
show how hot time hot, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know, I tell
One
you.
thing. One thing about the new developments, they always have the wells, the
Okay.
well, and so for a while, for the first couple of years or so, you always have good water before they switch over to NWC.
Yeah, I'm gonna be, moving out of Kingston. I love Kingston, but
Uh-huh.
when I get my place, I'm gonna be outside of Kingston because yeah, man, I tell you, Kingston hot. You know what I mean? And country's cooler. I do know that country's
Yeah.
cooler. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even though where I lived at before, it wasn't any tree. It was because it was a new community. Wasn't too many trees down there. So I moved to
Mhm.
an older scheme. Um, so it's more trees over here. So and then plus I'm at the point. I'm almost to rural Jamaica, rural St. James.
Right,
I'm almost to Johns Hall right now. I'm
right.
not too far from Johns Hall, but where I was close. I was almost the clock where I was at last time, so I was just almost in the city. It would take me like 5 minutes to get down into the town, so
Yeah,
I can,
yeah, man.
yeah, I feel a difference. And then I'm right behind
Yeah, man.
the river is right behind me, so it's a river
Yeah,
behind me.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. See,
Mhm.
so yeah, so exactly that. Because like I said, so it's in Kingston, and because Kingston are flat, then
Yes,
obviously the heat's more and more locked in. You know.
it's funny because once I get off, when I get off um over there off the highway, and then I turn and I come down, and I could just feel feel the heat.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just I just feel it. I
yeah,
just feel
yeah.
it.
You do, you
I gotta
do.
roll up AC. I stop at a gas station, wind the windows up, and make sure I have enough to run the AC. Yeah, yeah. Jamaica electric bills is crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially like people, they have two and three ACs, so they run them.
I was just about to say, if you have that draws more electric, then your ability to will be tend to be high.
Hmm.
Because I don't have AC, my bills aren't that high.
Hmm.
I mean, well, it's not high relative in terms of what I hear other people pay. Yeah, man, St. Andrew has country, and country is cool, much cooler than
Yeah.
St. Flat,
Hmm.
much cooler.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like I
and
said,
like all around the coast is hot as heck, but when you start to go and
yeah,
move up
yeah,
inland
yeah,
and
yeah,
get on the
yeah,
hills,
exactly. Yeah,
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 it
man.
makes. difference.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Because even the place I lived at for 10 years, we were sitting on top of the hill. When I tell you, and it was a big old ackee tree right in the front. When I tell you, we got a piece of breeze. Just open up and sit on the veranda, and we got that ocean breeze coming off from the front, and then
Yes.
the country
Yeah.
breeze coming down from the side. Boy, God. I used to fall asleep because we had a reclining seat. I used to fall asleep outside
Yeah, I can
midday.
imagine. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
because it was just nice. It was just nice and cool.
Yes.
hmm That was in the ghetto, so like I said, I moved up in life, and now I'm hot. Paying $20,000 AC bill. Yes. hmm
Yeah, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, man.
hmm
How long have we been on now, Ash?
Uh,
How long have we been on?
for an hour and 40 minutes. It's
Damn.
about time for us to go ahead
Yeah,
and go on. I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
go.
yeah, for real.
I gotta go. Get myself ready.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for being a part of the conversation.
Uh,
Next week, I know I'm saying thanking everyone for being a part of the conversation.
hmm
Um, Next week we'll be back on 7 o'clock or
hmm
thereabout. Hopefully, all of us will be on.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see.
Hmm. And we'll again, any questions that you may have, um, if you're in the community or not yet, then go to berjamaica.com, be a part of the community. You know what I mean? Any questions that you may have, fire them away. Um, yeah, and yeah, we'll be back here again next week, Tuesday,
hmm
with probably talking about more stuff, probably about culture. Um,
Some more
yeah,
Jamaican isms.
Jamaicanism, Jamaicanism, and, yeah, yeah, you're welcome, Simone. Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people, a lot is said, but there's nothing, and a lot of it is emotive. A lot of it,
hmm
without having actual, without people actually having the facts. So we
hmm
try to clarify or try to make it clear the best we can. But yeah, thank you everyone for being a part, and we'll be back again Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
Yes. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night, evening, and the rest of your week.
Yeah.
All right, people.
Good night.
Good night.